So we just got back from 2 weeks touring around France
in our self-converted camper van called Rory.
So we're going to tell you everything you need to avoid disaster. So we booked the ferry from Portsmouth to Cherbourg with Brittany Ferries. When booking the ferry, do remember that your vehicle size is important.
And we all know that size matters.
Now we are a Ford Transit Custom, long wheelbase with a light bar and a few things on the roof. So we're 2.2 metres high and
I can't remember the length.
5.34, don't put in the comments if I got it wrong, but 5.34 comes to mind, but it's something 5 metres.
48.5 bananas.
But we haven't been putting that line with the motorhome.
No.
So I'm assuming we fit the
good.
normal height. So when you go to catch your ferry, you're going to need your passports, your ticket for your ferry, and it might be an idea to put them in a bit of a plastic folder and make sure they're in the front of your cab, because you don't want to be having to stop the car and get out and search for everything.
Because if you end up faffing, it just creates a bit of anxiety, doesn't it?
Yeah, you want less stress.
If you've sorted out everything beforehand, it takes the worry out of it, makes everything a lot easier.
Sure does. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, so we're just in the queue. Mark will just show you.
There we are.
There. I think we're going to be in the queue for quite a while because we're really early. But it just shows you that if you get here early, you can get in the queue, and then you know you're all settled and you don't have to worry.
Take some of the stress away.
What they have just said to me, I'm not going to show you the inside of my passport for obvious reasons, but I've got the old type passport, and what they have just said is due to Brexit. I've got another year left on mine, more than a year, and because they're saying the issue date is the important date, and they're saying 10 years from the issue date, even though I renewed mine early, basically.
Yeah.
So I've got longer left on it. However, they're saying they're not going to take that date, so I do need to get a new passport sorted. So for anybody else with the same thing, check your passport date, because I thought I'd got about 18 months left, but clearly I haven't now. So that's an important thing, good information she's just told me, so definitely check that.
Yeah, check that. Yeah. So we've got our, what have we got? We've got our boarding cards.
Boarding cards.
Yeah. So presumably that's all we'd need to show.
So when we went through there, all you needed was your ticket printed off.
Yeah.
With your booking reference. And to be honest, I don't even know if you would have needed the ticket. It did just say booking reference.
Booking reference and passports.
And then passports.
Yeah.
And it was quite a simple process, obviously the same as an airport. They just check your passport, they put it on the machine and all that. Check if you're a criminal. We're not. Great.
No.
And then they give you all back with your boarding cards. And as I say, she did thankfully give me that information about my passport as well.
So, to be able to drive in France, you need to have a valid UK driving licence, and you need to be 18 years old. Also, you need to have the V5 document of the vehicle that you're driving. There's ours. Information's on the back, obviously. And also, you need to have valid insurance. So check your insurance provider and make sure it's valid for European cover as well, so you don't get caught out. That's a good start, eh? You also need a UK sticker on the back of your van or on your number plate.
In the unfortunate event that you break down, you're also going to need one of these and one of these each. So let's show you what this is.
So in the event of an incident on the road and you need to pull over, put your hazard lights on, and you need to put your warning triangle made up on the floor, and you need to do that with the flow of traffic. So if the traffic's coming from behind the van, you need to place that on the floor, and that needs to be between 30 metres and 50 metres. And the way that you work out how long's 30 metres or 50 metres is you do big strides, and then that just needs to go on the floor facing the direction of the traffic.
You're going to need this too. If you've got a right-hand drive and you want to be driving on the left, obviously you need to convert your headlights. Now you need to time this good, because obviously if you're going to get off the ferry in the dark, these already need to be on. We didn't. We got off in the daylight and we fit them when we got there. Now obviously if you're still driving in England in the dark, then you can't put these on first because it alters the beam. I feel like I've got a Haynes manual on the bonnet from years ago.
So what are we doing?
Right, so you get this paperwork with it. I feel like that's extremely close to me.
It's not.
You get this paperwork, you've got to find your vehicle first. So if you look at this, all the vehicles are on it. You find yours, it gives you a code, flip it over, find the code. What that's going to do is tell you exactly where to put the sticker, because the sticker fits every vehicle. It's just a matter of pulling a bit off or moving it to a different position. Okay?
Fairly easy to do, but what would you say? Would you need to do that? We did it, had a look first, didn't we, before we went?
Yes. So
it
it's
didn't
best
come
to
as
have
a
a bit of
surprise.
an idea as to what you're doing with all of this stuff. So have a little research into all of it. But yeah, especially this one with the headlights. We've got some footage of us fitting them anyway when we got there.
I obviously took them off now. And may I say, what a pain they are to get off. They're a used once thing as well, so once you peel them off...
Oh yes, of course, they're brilliant for that, aren't they? Pay for it every time you go.
Once you peel them off, the silver part comes off, and then all the grubby
Sticky
stuff stays on the headlight that you have to wipe off with some... I've got some sticky stuff remover.
Sticky stuff.
Yeah, so use that. But yeah, it's a pain to get off.
Yeah, sticky stuff.
Just keep going.
I don't know where we go. Yeah.
Keep going. First here, I think. All the way down. Thank you. Keep going. Might not get in the back doors if
So that's us parked up. You can get out now and go up top.
Okay, so when driving in France, there's another thing that you need to know. So they have an emission rules in some of the cities and towns in France, and it's called a critère scheme. So it's not quite like ULEZ in London. So what it means is that all vehicles have to have a sticker. So there's different stickers depending on the vehicle, and the sticker that you get for your vehicle will last for the entire time you have the vehicle. So it's a buy once and you can use it for multiple times while you've got the vehicle. Our van is a Euro 6, so we've got the AdBlue and everything. So here's our sticker. Here's our sticker. I'm going to put it on the vehicle in a minute because it came after. But it's a yellow one with number 2. The cleanest vehicles will be 1, followed by 2, and I think it goes up to 6. So when you go into a large French city or large town, there'll be a sign up saying 4, 5 and 6 critère sticker interdict, which means not allowed. If you're going to go into an area where you're not allowed to go without a sticker, you're going to be fined quite a lot. If you have no sticker, you're going to be fined. Now, as it was, we bought a sticker, but we didn't go into any large cities. More and more French towns and cities are joining the scheme, and it's nothing to be worried about. We're a 2. If you was an electric vehicle, you'd be 1. So going down diesel vehicles, really old vehicles, you may be a 6, or an articulated lorry, something like that. So it's to do with your emissions, really. They're about 6 or 7 euros. You have to apply to the French website. There are third-party resellers. Don't use those, you'll be ripped off. Go to the correct people that issue them, which is the Ministère de la Transition écologique et de la cohésion des territoires. I might not be able to say that again ever. That was the first time I've said it. But yeah, go on to the French website. They're about 6 or 7 euros.
You still have to fight with the camera.
I've got a Parrot on my shoulder. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying yes. Okay, so the next thing is highly recommended. It's not compulsory. I'm talking about spare bulbs. However, if you have a bulb out on your vehicle, the French police will expect you to change the bulb on that vehicle before proceeding to drive.
He's off. It's also recommended that you take a tyre inflation kit. Now, as you'll see on screen now, it's a good job we did, because we had a flat tyre. We kept pumping it up with our tyre inflator and we managed to get through the trip. However, we could have not been so lucky, and it might have been a tyre repair we needed, but we've also got that as well, as can be seen here. So, don't know if you've seen one of these before, but they're a clever little tool where you actually drill out the hole where usually a screw is, and then you put this little rubber thing through. Really interesting actually how it's done. But yeah, recommended to have some tools as well, and some bits and bobs that you might need if you break down. If you've got alloy wheels, you're going to need your locking wheel nut, and you're of course going to need a jack. Your spare wheel, make sure you check that before you go. Ours is underneath, so let's have a look.
That's ours there.
How is it?
So yeah, make sure that your spare wheel is in good nick. Obviously, if it's a space saver, it's going to limit the speed that you can go on roads until you get a repair. Check your wheel brace, that you have got a wheel brace. Our spare wheel, as you've seen, is underneath, and it winds down with this mechanism here. So that's everything to do with the spare wheel, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we can pump the tyres up, we can repair the tyre, we can get it fixed in France.
Or we can change the tyre. Or one other important thing that they do recommend is to have breakdown cover. So that's, what was you saying? 4 ways if you have a puncture. Oh, it's a bit posh feels. Are you excited?
It's really the edge of the seat stuff with this backpack on. So one of the recommended things is to take your MOT certificate, just so you know that your vehicle's legally roadworthy. A couple of things you should do before you go as well. So you need to check your fluids inside your vehicle. So you've got your coolant for your radiator, you've got your power steering fluid, you've got your engine oil. The dipstick's down there, I'm not getting it out because my hands are clean. Well, there was. Your power steering fluid, and also your window washer reservoir is a good place to. The other one should just be between the minimum and maximum, but obviously your window washer, you have to keep topping that up anyway. The other important thing is to make sure that you check your tyre pressures. So I'll just bring you round. So on the Transit Custom, your tyre pressures are shown on the inside of the driver's door. So if you're considering doing lots of mileage in your vehicle, if you want to prolong the life of your tyres, make sure you've got the correct pressure in there. It's also quite good that you'll know whether you've got a puncture as well. Okay, so we've been blessed with the Euro 6 engine, and with that comes the AdBlue system. Make sure that's topped up. We topped ours up fully before we left anyway, because the warning light come on. Diesel. In France, diesel's known as gasoil, and the colour in the UK is normally a black pump. Now that may be yellow in France normally, but what I always do is try and ignore the colours and go for the designation. So for diesel, gasoil, it's B7. Nearly all of the service stations, gas stations, petrol stations, whatever you want to call it, take chip and pin cards, things like that, so it's easy to pay for your fuel, and it's a little bit cheaper than the UK. You may be surprised with that, but probably not, because everything's more expensive in the UK, isn't it? So one important thing to remember is when you get your vehicle onto the ferry, you'll need to park it. Now when you park it, it's really important that you turn off the ignition, place it in gear and put your handbrake on, because the sea sometimes get rough. Now it's really important that you don't leave your alarm fully armed, because when you go up onto deck for 4 hours, if your alarm's gone off because it's been rocking and rolling on the old English Channel, you could have a flat battery. We're quite lucky. I'm not sure on different vehicles, but on ours we can turn the ignition off and we can select reduce guard, and all that will do is take the microwave sensors off, and it'll just make so the doors are alarmed if somebody was to open them. So that's a quite good feature for us. So yeah, just to recap, into gear, handbrake on, reduce guard, or turn your alarm off. So not all vehicles have got this function, but we have, and found it really useful. We have got the analog speedometer, but we've also got the digital, and if you can see, it's set at miles per hour. Obviously in France, kilometers per hour, so we can just press the menu button, onto display settings, measure unit, and we can cycle into kilometers per hour. So as you're driving in France, it will now tell you kilometers per hour, because that's what the road signs are going to be in. So it could be 80 kilometers an hour, and you'll know exactly what speed. Takes the guesswork out of it. So I need to change that back now. So obviously we're not French, you may tell by the accent, but so this one we're not sure whether how stringent that the police and local authorities are, and it concerns the speed camera warnings. So one really important thing to remember is that in France it's actually illegal to drive with speed camera notifications, and that really applies to your sat navs as well. So if you're using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you need to disable those functions. Now, disabling those functions will also mean that it will not tell you the actual speed limits on the road as well. So you have to follow what the road signs say. Now, it's up to you if you decide to disable that or leave it on.
If you've watched our videos, you'll probably notice that we didn't take a pet with us to France. That's not because we haven't got one. We have. I'll put her on the screen now. She's a white little fluffy rabbit called Snowy. And obviously it's not really the best place for her in a van travelling around France.
Or in France, but with the with the food.
No, not great. So we left her at home. But it brings us on to, if you have got a pet and you're taking it with you, clearly there's a whole other list that you're going to need to check. Now, we didn't need to do that for obvious reasons, we're not taking a pet, but if you are, obviously, like we say, the big list online that you can get to check everything you need, because there's been a lot of changes recently as well. We're in May 2025 when we've been to France, so there's been a lot of recent changes. So do check up on what you need, animal passports, all their health, injections, the lot. Do check on that.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you found it informative, and if you did enjoy it, remember to hit subscribe and remember to hit the like button.
Also remember to comment, because we do like our comments, especially the nice ones.
So we're going to have our coffee,
yep,
with our little mini posh donuts,
very
and
posh,
our
very
caramelised biscuits. And we'll see you next time.
We need to get some new cups as well, because we like Starbucks.
Starbucks is better than Costa. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.